matchups, right?
Okay.
So if they've woken up between game 1 and game 2, I am slightly more inclined for EG's draft. Again, all bad for them.
Okay.
Need some good old 20-minute get the hell out of my lobby.
Yeah, they didn't even need Roshan. They just kind of like kept beating down EG until they eventually just
Yeah, they did one Rosh in that game. They put the Aegis on Storm and he never even used it.
Yeah.
That was quite a fast game. EG had 0 tower damage, I think, that entire game as well.
Impressive.
I don't know if I've ever seen that for this squad, which tends to be one of the higher killer squads, one of the more aggressive ones, and one of those squads that likes to take those objectives early, particularly if Whisper is dominating his lane.
Yes, exactly. You always get building damage out of Whisper.
Right. So the fact that that just never happened for EG with a Beastmaster of all things is absolutely terrifying. We'll see if they can rebound in game 2 with a draft that is a lot more comfortable for them and not as dependent on the early waves going well. I think there's a lot more team fight in this lineup, a lot more scale, a lot more inter-hero synergy, and those are the types of things that they tend to like to play for here, as well as splitting the runes, no first blood so far, so completely even start. And hopefully Matthew also can get a bit more done, because I still think of him as a linchpin for this EG lineup. I mean, he's their shot caller, their captain. More importantly, I feel like if his game is flowing well, then EG's game is flowing well. And that game 1, man, did Matthew get shut down on lane by Kiori on that Phoenix. That Inch matchup did not go well at all. So Matthew's going to try and strike back here with maybe a hero that he is more comfortable and confident on, maybe skewing this lane matchup a bit more, as well as already forcing the one-on-one for Whisper. Whisper is going to be happy with this. Anytime you get solo XP as a Darkseer and you're not getting your regen burned, which he hasn't had to buy any, pretty much the dream.
Can we talk about Lifestealer?
Oh, is that what you're waiting to ask?
Yeah. Why'd they pick this hero? Because it's like a very middle-of-the-road hero against Naga Siren, right? And while I think Darkseer is a pretty decent offlaner against Naga Siren, I think there are better ones out there. At least the stats say there are better ones. So
they were also banned, though. The Legion, the Timber, and got banned. Those are the 2 bigger ones. I don't think they wanted to take Underlord.
Okay.
Didn't have the same threat into here. I think Darkseer is also very good here for EG, one they're very comfortable in, and one that has been.
Oh, look at this little surprise Matthew set up for Kiori. He's like, all right, you're going to play in this side lane area all the time. We're going to 2v1 you and try and get first blood. It may not work, though.
Oh, they have Vacuum. He's pretty much dead for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe he would get to the Ancients, but no, he cannot get there. So it is going to be a first blood for Whisper. A lot of time outside of the lane, but probably worth it solely for that first blood gold.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so much extra net worth going into this Darkseer early on that he's going to be able to translate into regen, which means staying on the lane, getting full XP. You are not shutting Whisper down in this game, so EG already in a way better position than they were game 1. You wanted to talk about Lifestealer. I mean, you know I'm a Lifestealer hater. I have always hated on this hero. This is one of those games where I actually like to pick.
Why? They have a lot of the abilities to go through his rage or catch him before he can rage.
I think the fact he has Darkseer to help Surge, shell him up, get in the fight, and then he has really big team fighters behind him in the ET and the Rubik that can cause some displacement. some chaos. Maybe you turn a roar around, maybe you turn an avalanche around. He gets in there, he maybe saves Pango, buffs up. Is he really annoying? He can get fast damage items versus the Naga. I think it's going to be pretty annoying for Quest to deal with. It's also a hero that had to pick blind versus a last pick offlaner, so you have to consider that. Lifestealer can limit that hero pool. So there could have been offlaners that EG were worried about that Lifestealer shuts down that kind of prevented Quest from being able to pick those. You also have a Mirana here, so you knew Quest wanted some stunners in their last 2 cores. Generally, Lifestealer is good against those lineups as long as he's not the one getting initiated on. I don't know, I kind of like the pick. I think it has some decent stuff going for it. I think the heroes look okay this tournament, particularly in the Darkseer lineups. He's looking pretty solid because the other big go-to with these Darkseer lineups in terms of carry is like Chaos Knight and Sven. And both of those heroes have been incredibly underwhelming. Chaos Knight just fell off completely after the lifesteal change. And then Sven is, I don't even want to talk about that hero right now. I think he is basically the worst performing hero of the tournament. Like, literally.
Give me some stats.
You want the Sven stats?
Yeah, I want the Sven stats. Hit me with them.
Sven is currently 1-9.
Okay.
His KDA is currently sitting at a approximate 1.5. So if you're a carry hero and your KDA is 1.5 over 10 games, that means that you are basically killing your own team. That's what it tells me. You're killing creeps and doing absolutely nothing with them.
Vacuum back in. Last second blood grenade from Matthew will secure that kill. Matthew, I think he's going to be okay. His TA2000 is not quite fast enough to chase up to him. So this laning phase is already going much better, but specifically the off lane of the matchup, Matthew versus Kiori. Looks like maybe Matthew and Whisper had a little bit of talk about how they want to deal with this guy, because he's playing the same hero, he's going to have the same play style. They are successfully countering it this time.
Sometimes the problem with running these things back, I mean, Quest were very confident in this Naga Phoenix opener. I think that combination was stronger in the second phase for them because they had the Rubik and the Primal to back it up. And then you get slightly worse heroes. I mean, not by a large degree, but I think the Mirana Tiny have not been as impactful as the Rubik Primal were, especially with the Primal being flexible into that last pick. So I think the order in which Quest got these heroes did a lot more for them than just jamming it into the first phase here. However, the heroes are still very strong, so it's a saying about how confident they are on the strategy, and they'll strike back. Matthew eventually falls.
I think, though, this is kind of fine. You've traded Kiori out so many times that, you know, dying once on Matthew for the 3 different deaths, I think, at this point for Kiori, that's got to be feeling pretty good. Get a little bit of reset here. As long as Whisper doesn't die to the rotation, ensnare arrow. Did not expect Omar to be making a rotation this early into the game.
That's super worth it. Continuing to put this early in snare point to use to enable his supports. Yeah, the Phoenix is not going to have the level start he had last time, as long as you don't get both Wisdom Runes here.
Damn, look at Bakaz going to work on these boars.
Yes, this is what Lifestealer can give you versus these blind melee matchups.
This is looking really rough. Malik is just going to die because the supports are rotating to mid, trying to get the power runes. Malik is left alone and will die with Creep Wave underneath his tower. This is the worst.
And that kill mid was maybe the bigger one. They found Nuke before level 6 on this Tiny before he gets all that armor. That's a huge kill. He was getting the refill as well.
Oh, that's crazy. The hustle on the bottle pass.
Yeah, that is exactly where Matthew wants to be in this game. He's already done more in the first 6 minutes in this game than he did in the entirety of the last game of that Enchantress.
For sure.
And this is the type of pace that EG want to play. They want their 4 position controlling where the supports are going, where those skirmishes are happening. This is going to free up C-Smile to go bottom now with the Rolling Thunder and try and kill this Beastmaster who TP'd back to lane and is on cooldown for 60 seconds. Malik, I hope you've practiced your recovery skills because you're going to need them this game. No free farm for you.
Is this going to be a one-sided stomp the other direction? Kiori, once again, is going for the Wisdom Rune, but they're doing the same on the other side of the map. I think this might be EG getting 2.
They should. They have the stun advantage. Yeah, Kiori can't even fight for this one.
Omar does manage to get it, but he will die shortly after, so it's still to the favor of the EG, clearly.
You got to do that if you're Omar, because that's not just a Wisdom Rune, it's a refill for C-Smile. That would have just been way too efficient for the Pangolier. still a lot of levels going into these EG supports that they were lacking last time around, and more importantly, denying some of it away from a Phoenix Mirana support duo that Quest really need the levels here.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Their damage to throw behind these two stunners and the Beast and the Tiny when they go in the fight. Not going to happen this time around.
We saw that the impact in that game 1 when you get Phoenix like very early level 5 is like a huge power spike for that hero. Fire Spirits does crazy amounts of damage.
No mana here on C-Smile. It's just not a kill attempt that's going to work. And the arrow hitting a creep. Omar could not find the angle. By the way, that tower just died bottom off of that double skill. Really nice play by C-Smile to get the read. Hey, we killed him once. He's going to come back. Just kill him again. Quest don't want to play down here. All of a sudden, your tower's gone. Your beast is level 4. And all those ancients that he wanted to stack and get through just goes out the window because the Leicester can play super aggressive. There's no early threat on Mikaz in this game.
Well, Noob is calling in a favor here. He may have had a rough time getting those early power runes in game 1, but now he's on the losing side of things, and he is getting a couple of them here. Haste Rune, very important one for a Tiny. He can finally make some moves in the struggling side lanes. We'll see where he chooses to go with that. Speaking of Matthew's impact, I actually wanted to bring him up because we know Rubik is like his go-to hero. It's his most played hero, hugely impactful. And I was curious like what his numbers were on Enchantress. He's only played Enchantress 7 times in his career in professional matches. And he, well, after that game, has a sub 50% win rate. So you could just see comfort level definitely does matter in some of these matchups. Oh, that's a big kill. C-Smile giving up something that frankly, kind of shouldn't have. That was way too easy for Quest.
Got him. I mean, he has Wand and Raindrop plus Fluffy Hat built into the orb here. That's a lot of magical bursts this early on. Didn't even have to pop the haste rune for Noob. That's what the Tiny Pick's designed to give you here. Just insane burst. That's a big comeback kill. A lot of XP going into Omar that he needed here. Also a move from EG that was poking top and just yielded nothing, even had to deny their own obs. So vision advantage skewed back towards Quest here, and now they get to use that rune to potentially pick up Whisper.
Big kill. If they could get this one, it would be very close to Blink Dagger. Foreign toss up in the air, beautiful. That was really nice. Omar had to throw that arrow early.
Yeah, that was on point.
So the fact that they managed to couple that together was really nice. Now, Malik does die again in the bottom lane because does not have Infest, but he does have C-Smile to try and help get him out of this situation. He will not be able to, and now C-Smile, who committed his life to try and help out Because, will die alongside. Malik will gladly tip Because, knowing that they have overly focused on the Beastmaster and now been punished for it.
Quest gets so much out of that for the supports and for Noob. The last minute here, he basically kills 4 heroes on the map and C-Smile twice, right? He got a mid, and then he gets him on the overextension bottom. So much gold into the Tiny's pocket after he was having a rough early laning stage. Getting Because off the map, too, it's going to free up space for the Beastmaster. This is pretty much exactly what Quest want. Turn the aggression of EG back against them. And now you have Egg up. Now you have your Mirana ult as well. If you wanted to skill it, though, Omar will just take the extra nukes. He's going to continue to play through the Tiny here.
Is under attack.
Tiny may not be having the best time at this tournament, but I do remember Noob's Tiny, like we didn't see much of it at Bali, and then Noob picked it up as a mid laner, and he really popped off in those games where he got it.
It's a comfort pick for him, absolutely. I think there's other mid initiators they could have picked in that role. It's just Tiny is his go-to, and for good reason. He is going to pop off on it. It's also one of those heroes that works really well with the Mirana. So if Omar is comfortable in this, which so far they have been very comfortable, it's just a nice little duo that they pick up. I think it's one of the things that this team excels at. They get these little combinations they're very comfortable with. They make sure the synergy between the mid and the 2 supports is always top tier in terms of damage output throughout the course of the game. And that means you always have play options available, whether you're ahead or you're behind here. This is a game that could have spiraled like last game, right? If EG made a couple of more clean moves, they didn't give up those Pango deaths, suddenly you're looking at a 5 or 6k gold lead.
Yep.
Instead, because your heroes have these small synergies and the extra spell damage, Quest makes some good comeback moves, and this game is exactly even again. No spiral for you, no stomp for you. You're gonna have to beat us on our terms, which means trying to find the item timings for Because here. Mjolnir Rush is gonna be the answer for the Naga. Double damage will go Noob's way.
Jumping into Noob, but he's got the supports to back him up, so they'll get that kill despite Noob taking away the power rune. Omar is actually going to try and sneak a kill, but the shield crash, that buff was still up on C Smile and helps protect him alongside the raindrop. So the burst wasn't enough.
I think that's an okay play by Noob. I think his supports need to be with him. I don't know where exactly Omar and Kaori were. That maybe they're just farming on the map, getting stacks. If they're not there, okay, maybe Noob can't go for that play, but that's a blink reveal Tiny who wants the double damage there, right? If there's an arrow Starfall follow-up, you might just kill the Pango again, and then you're busting this game wide open. A little bit of a misstep on this rune control. EG will take advantage of it. C-Smile gets some revenge. His time to shine with the supports behind him has come, and level 4 Avalanche for Matthew. This is probably the best spell he can get in this game for a long time outside of, you know, you steal some ults in the fights. That's why they're smoking up here, looking for anything.
Yeah, and they could start setting up for Wisdom Rune in 1 minute if they want to try and steal away Quest. Play for a team fight over there.
I mean, this is still double damage. Noob still got the TD rune, so instant smoke up by Quest and straight back on to C-Smile. He's gone again.
Got him again. The Avalanche is going to come too late, and Panda, who is looping around the side here, trying to get aggressive vision down. He'll not be punished for his position. Man, Alec rushed a pipe, by the way.
Yes, very interesting. He did not go the Ags, which was scaled more this game. He's just going the utility, trying to buff up his other two cores. I guess they believe in the Naga and the Tiny scale this game in terms of being able to deliver the damage. Maybe Phoenix having as good a game as Kaori has had. Man, he has just been farming top. EG have not been able to kick him out, and he has extracted a lot of levels and gold off this top lane on the Phoenix. I feel like EG need to be decisive right now. They need to choose where they want to strike. Particularly with the Pangolier, you have this Diffusal finish, you can shell him, you can surge him. If you combine these cores, your team fight's strong. It's just where do you want to use it? You're getting dragged around in these weird areas. Egg for the Wisdom Rune up here. I don't think it's gonna live.
No, it's not. So EG, a small little pickoff like that, and a Supernova on cooldown does mean they have the advantage if they want to push it. Maybe they could try and take something like this mid tower.
He did get that rune. So the levels for Quest have definitely caught up here.
Yeah, but do you think it's worth giving up your life for the second Wisdom Rune?
I think only the first one. Unless you're like a level 6 support, then you do it for sure. He was very high level though. Kaori has sat top for a while, so that was a big kill to give up.
Yeah, he's been farming against the Darkseer for a while because TA2000 doesn't need that lane. He's been farming up jungle.
And I think that's something EG should have prioritized a bit more, is kicking that Phoenix out of top if they could.
What was that move?
I have no idea.
Surge into Infest to take the boar, and C-Smile needs some help with the mid lane. The arrow blocked! Darkseer comes in, lets C-Smile get off the Rolling Thunder. It looks like Whisper's gonna live off the mech. He's gonna be low here. He vacuums back in TA2000 and will die. Whisper will die for that one, but well worth it.
Look at the damage on the ET right now. That's a max Spirit Elder Titan.
Yeah, he's running at Omar. Omar, is he gonna get punched by this one? He doesn't have any more leap charges. They don't even need the stomp to land. The Fade will bring him down. Unknown if it's Whisper intentionally blocking that arrow, but it did save the team fight for sure.
I don't know if that was intentional. I don't know if Whisper will ever tank an arrow for the boys. I think he just didn't see it. Either way, you have an Arcane Rune Pangolier with Diffusal, and he's a bit tanky now, can't get bursted. This is where the early EHP between the Pango, the mech on the Darkseer, and the Infest just work out wonderfully. You don't have the damage right now of your Quest without the egg surviving, which was used on that Wisdom Rune earlier.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe wish you had it here, as Caveman Dota with the 4 melee Darkseer lineup starting to heat up. And yeah, that max Spirit on the Elder Titan is a very interesting choice this game. In theory, it can work out if you ever want to commit a surge on him, or if Panda can just get in there and start smacking people. It's a lot of damage early on a hero that maybe Quest don't want to focus. The downside is you give up extra stomp and aura levels, which, you know, you have some back combos with. The extra sleep duration is a little nice to buy time for maybe a second rage or another surge.
I'm not an ET expert, but I would posit to say that...
Well, not many people are, Cap. I mean,
I know,
it takes a real
you're
rare
a special breed
of a Dota player to be an Elder Titan. That's the finest of all the Dota players.
If you don't have a lot of magic damage, especially ranged spells you're throwing around, I feel like leveling up the aura isn't as valuable. Would you agree with that? Like, they have swashbuckle physical damage, lifestealers getting in there punching people, physical damage, right?
Sure. I think leveling Stomp is still good, though.
Okay.
I think extra sleep duration and even the little damage is not bad. I don't know. I tend to feel the 4th point in the Spirit is a little overkill a lot of times. We've been seeing people favor it more. If you get the damage in, ultimately it will always feel good. It's just a question of what your impact of the fight's going to be, what you think you can reliably do. If you're not playing versus a bunch of purges, if you think the stuns are going to go on your cores, it's going to free you up to get in there and get 2 big right clicks, then it is worth it. Stomp will land on 2, and the roll will prevent any TPs out here.
Air Splitter, can it snap it back? It will not, and they've lost sight of TA2000. Drop a sentry, spot him for a second here, but they're splitting targets. They're not sure where to go. TA2000 hit by another swashbuckle, and another stomp is going to land. They've got him.
Yeah, Panda just had his number, man. The dust, the drum to keep up the move speed. He lands 2 stomps on TA2000 here. Zelda Titan has done work for EG in this game. And it's only going to get better as you level the stomp, you level the aura. I mean, you don't have a huge amount of the magic damage thrown, but you do have ion shells, you do have Fade Bolt, plus whatever Matthew's going to steal in the fight. It's not nothing because did not respect the burst. Did not think they were all there. That is the one really deep ward for Quest. They're just playing around it. That is what this tiny Mirana will always give you, a chance to just catch heroes off guard.
Look at C Smile. This is very aggressive positioning by him, and he might get caught for it. Oh, Spirit putting noob. He just cannot get his blink off here.
I mean, he's very tanky here. Aegis plus Shield Rune, basically 3 lives on this Pango. You also have a Greaves completed on Whisper to back this up. These are not the targets you want to go on if you're noob. This is the correct call, even with that Lifestealer dead. That fight is a little awkward. You probably want to wait for the next Beastmaster aura here if you're Quest. And try and take a fight around that, plus your level 2 egg, which, yeah, it's level 2 egg already up. All that XP that Kiori got earlier, he's rushing Hex again. Some of the big high man is going to be there. Man, Panda is just putting him on a clinic with these stomps, man.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. He keeps on just very aggressively positioning himself around the map, somehow finding these heroes. And I feel like he hasn't been punished a single time for it.
No. And he's 1-0-7. Quest have not been able to stop the Elder Titan's rampage, as rare as that is in this early game. This is one of those heroes that actually skews the Naga matchups for a lot of the carries. Another reason I think the Lifestealer pick was pretty solid, because they didn't need a hero that just solo answers Naga like Sven.
Okay.
Sometimes does in certain patches, because you have ET to help you out. That's the power of Elder Titan. Okay, your carry matchup's bad? Not anymore.
Yeah, now the hero has literally no armor because what Naga Siren builds plus armor item.
I mean, even just Stomp and ET ult in a fight is sometimes enough to change the matchup. Yeah. Even just buffing up 1 or 2 nukes on the Naga is enough to change the matchup sometimes.
Sure.
These are very powerful spells in the carry-on-carry situation, so it's something else that maybe makes EG feel a bit more comfortable. I mean, ET is basically the #1 support versus Naga, historical stats-wise.
And now you've got even more AoE damage to be thrown around with an Aghanim Scepter done for the Pangolier.
Nah, this is a really good timing for EG. They still have Aegis, and you have stolen level 2 Roar on Matthew right now.
You know you're ahead of the game when you get an Aghanim Scepter on Pango before you hit the level 15 talent.
He's too rich for his own good.
Yeah.
Infested as well. Yeah, Matthew's looking. He has Blink here, surged up. Moonlight Shadow causing him problems. Oh, he almost got the real Naga there.
That was a close call. Gonna leave some illusions behind with the arrow to see if they can get this kill without committing too much. They vacuum to pull the illusions off of Matthew, and now Omar, who went for the kill off the Starstorm, will be punished for it finally. The Cause pops out to help get something.
Those little combinations are gonna be nice for quests. Like you can ensnare, put illusions, throw an arrow. You don't have to commit the real heroes. Sustain and counter initiation is gonna be there for EG though. So it pretty much has to be noob going in to secure these kills. Working towards a BKB. Quest still finding a lot of net worth on this map. I mean, EG are not shutting them out of the camps.
Yeah, they die, but they never like actually go back to their base a lot of times. As you can see from Noob here, who's finally going to be punished for it. He's been playing this area of the map for a really long time.
EG have to find somebody. They're just getting way too many camps right now.
Toss away, attempted.
Getting that ward helps as well. As Gem picked up for Panda. So they will try and regain some of the map control through the vision, because they definitely feel like they're getting split up right now. Deep, dire wards helping Quest split push the sides of this map. They have Beastmaster on one end, Tiny on the other, and Naga pushing the waves. EG's catch is pretty limited. Yeah,
their catch is limited, and I feel like it's not the easiest for them to deal with a Heart Illusion Naga Siren pushing out lanes.
And that Heart is basically done as soon as TA2000 wants to pick it up. This is where the game can become awkward for this 5-man group up lineup from EG. The team fight is definitely favorable for them. It's just Quest don't have to give it to you.
Yeah.
Like, why would Quest ever 5v5 you right now, right? Unless they feel like you're getting too many objectives off the map in either the form of Tormentors, Towers, or Roshan. Right now, EG has had that Aegis, though the Aegis didn't do much for them. So I don't know if Quest are that compelled to contest second Rosh here even either.
Sure.
I think it'd only be an issue if they feel Aegis on Lifestealer lets him high ground, which, I don't know about you, but going high ground versus Tiny lineup does not sound too fun.
Yeah, if you get tossed back into a Primal Roar underneath like a tier 4 tower, I don't care if you have a second life, that's probably a bad fight.
I would tend to agree. So that is something that EG are going to have to think about, itemize for, and try and solve in this game, unless they're just very happy going ultra late with their Elder Titan backup in terms of scale, which it might be. I mean, they have Elder Titan and Darkseer versus Naga. Part of the draft advantage for EG here is that they did deal with the first phase Naga pretty well. Like, they had 4 picks to do it, and these are 4 pretty damn good picks at making sure this Naga is not going to be a problem in the ultra late. So maybe they are just comfortable farming it out.
And there is Kaori Scythe of Ice.
Right on time. I mean, he found a lot of net worth in this game, a lot of levels. If you ever get to play Phoenix like this, you're very happy, because this is kind of how the hero thrives.
Quest is going to put their team fight to a test here. Now, we do favor EG when it comes to it, but we've hit a power spike with this Scythe, with the pickup of the Heart.
And Crimson for Moloch here.
Yeah, that's a nice.
So you got a lot of HP going into the Quest heroes, and then you have Crimson and Pipe to back it up.
So if you could start off with a pick-off, and they can't turn around and kill the Tiny because he's too damn tanky, a pick-off onto Lifestealer would be perfect. The Scythe helps combo it, they got him.
3,000 HP.
And they're going to keep teeping into this one. They're actually going to try to play around this wall. Primal War immediately stopping C-Smile from being able to have a big impact with that Rolling Thunder, and they just cannot do the damage. Not without their Lifestealer, it's looking like. C-Smile's going to try. He's going for the Beastmaster right now. Will manage to get that one kill. TA2000, oh, his health is gone! Oh, he didn't see that coming. What about the Elder Titan, TA2000? What about him?
Blink and you miss it. ET sends you into the fissure, says goodbye, Achi Carry. Nice knowing you.
I mean, the fact that he tried to fight C-Smile, and it was like, this isn't going great because of the Ion Shell. And then Elder Titan gets close, and all of a sudden, he's taking so much more damage, and then the Earth Splitter knocks him out before he can retreat.
I mean, you look at this death summary for TA2000, I'll tell you who's #1. It's Elder Titan right there with 1350. It is rare you get to deal half of a Naga's HP from a 5 position. Max Spirit doing wonders here for Panda as he continues his onslaught in this game. Can they finally bring the beast down? No. Even as a pig, he's immortal. His reign of terror continues, and he's just going hags, man.
Hell yeah.
This ET is going to be a problem. They don't have good purges for him. They don't have good control. I mean, do you want to commit a roar on him? This is a fight where EG lose their 3,000 HP carry straight off the bat. I thought this was going to be way better for Quest.
Yeah, and C-Smile's roll up here. Rolling Thunder immediately stopped by Mount.
Yeah, you get 3 heroes stunned by the egg. The first Spirit Stomp, by the way, hit nothing. I think it was just completely off by Panda. A rare misstep in this game, but it does cost him here.
And it all goes wrong because TA2000 chooses to try and fight with the Beastmaster on C-Smile, and then here comes boom!
Yeah, you are absolutely gone.
I mean, even without the Earth Splitter, I think he was dead there, just choosing to fight into that situation.
I think Quest underestimate how tanky EG are with these Darkseer Auras. Like, they have a Greaves of their own. They have a lot of sustain. Pipe was also done for Whisper there. This Pangle here he's a beast. This early axe pickup for C-Smile has worked wonders here. He's dealing a lot of damage. He's burning out mana. You can't really burst him. Another shield rune picked up. That's part of the issue Quest are facing right now. Even with this Hex pickup, it's all single target initiation. What happens after that? Like, you did not win the 5-on-4. That's concerning for your idea of how to take these 5-on-5s. If your single target burst is not winning you a fight.
Yeah, you kind of need to, I think off that fight, what we learned is they need to get that pick and then kind of reset a little bit.
Yeah, wait
because
for
the
the
Naga
next
Siren
combo.
cannot just take.
I agree.
He can't 1v4 the rest of the team.
Now, when that second tiny jump comes in, you're probably going to win the fight off that.
Right, yeah.
It's just what happens in that interval. If the ET gets in there and does damage like Panda's been doing, that's why these stomps are really pivotal. When the tiny goes in, you need to force his BKB, make sure that duration starts ticking, and ideally the stomp lands on 1 or 2 heroes, because then you can take advantage of that interval where Quest are waiting for the rego.
Yeah. And let's not forget, like, there was an opportunity there to song and reset that fight as well, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even use that.
That's why the read, I was with their read. I'm like, this looks great for Quest.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Guys, what happened?
TA2000 just not respecting the matchup against the ET, and as a result, did not manage to wrest control of this game away from EG, but it is still kind of even. EG still hold the team fight advantage and very likely will get Roshan with that, but there is this developing problem of what do we do about this illusion push that's always happening. It's subtle, but it's happening constantly.
I just think that fight propelled you in a really solid spot with your Pango and your Lifestealer, and
Bold and Malik, they're not letting anybody get close to this Roshan pit.
Whisper traps himself, but I don't think he's too sad about that. He'll hang out with this Hawk, his new friend.
The real Naga Siren is bottom lane, by the way.
It's getting some
So
power
they
damage.
might lose their tier 3.
Yeah, significant power damage, actually, as that butterfly is completed. TA2000 just chomps down. Tier 3 for Roshan. I guess it's best case scenario for Quest here. I don't think you can contest EG in that pit unless you have the most clutch song of your life.
Yeah.
And you're doing it in the double spell immunity in the Lifesteal and the Pango.
I like this. I think this is what Quest have to play for here. Pickoffs like this. This one's kind of weird, but the arrow does land. They're going to get the kill and now try and pop the song to get out.
Where's the stop? Where's the spirit?
They're not going to get anything to stop the TP away. Don't you just kind of have to YOLO out an Earth Splitter there?
Yeah, that's actually something I started to learn more about with this ET hero. Like, you can just throw these Earth Splitters early to prevent the TP and wear the song duration. Is definitely a move Panda's going to think about now. Because I think the first time it happens, you kind of forget about that interaction. But now, something to think about. I don't know what happened to his spirit. I swear he had it for that fight. I don't think it was still at the pit. Either way, that's another tool that EG will have to cancel these songs. Something else that makes this ET matchup really annoying. That spirit's on you. You're not TPing out unless you want to commit for a BKB.
Yeah. The fact that you've got 2 different abilities to kind of counter song TP out from your 5 position, yeah, there is so many reasons this hero is good against Naga Siren. But Quest have created a weak point on EG.
Very true.
Tier 3 down, they continue to split push you. They continue to use this tiny Mirana combo to be able to get, big kills. Maybe you can't win the 5-on-5, but you can win the 3-on-1 over and over again.
Or it's about how that fight starts. Like, you get somebody to show in EG's base, that opens up the jump for noob, and then that reset becomes a lot more nice.
Yeah.
Also, the BKBs are going to come out for Quest, and that's a big deal, because ET does not help you through these BKBs. EG lose a lot of damage in. The aura's not going through, your Earth Splitter loses some value, your stomps aren't landing. The BKBs help you commit after the tiny jump for Quest, and you're going to have one on TA2000. Potentially, he's debating it between the BKB and the Nullifier. What did he just buy out for? Oh, he just bought out. I think this is a really good read by TA2000. I think after that fight top, he understands you just need BKB on Naga in this game. You need to be able to stay in there, start right-clicking people with this Butterfly mana first the Lifestealer. BKB is your best way to do that. The alternative would have been Assault Kuros, which is another kind of counter aura item that would help you fight the Lifestealer here. It's just not as common anymore, and I think BKB is nice versus the rest of EG's lineup here. Helps you versus the Pango and the Darkseer. Maybe you don't get back. I can buy into it. Like you said, though, that pressure point exists now, and Quest are going to do their best to exploit it, pull EG around, find the pickoffs, not get picked off. And Matthew will find Kaori. Level 20 for the Lifesteal with Lincoln's Elven Tunic going MKB.
I think the pickoffs like that are worth their weight in gold for EG because they are falling behind in net worth here. Ensnare, break through Lincoln's, arrow goes out, blocked by a creep.
Oh, he got the sleep post dodge.
They'll be able to chain it now. Ogre Seal Totem won't be able to go out very far. TA2000 has to use his BKB TP out. Earth Splitter is too late.
Panda needs to be thinking about, I mean, it's not easy, right? It's a game of cat and mouse. I'm not saying these are reliable to get. It is something you will think about more as this game progresses. Still, you get a BKB out of the Naga, you get the song, you protect your Pango. this is the tough part of playing the map for EG. As long as you get out of these little skirmishes, I think they're happy. Like, they're still down some gold, but who cares about net worth in this game? It's all about the team fight and execution and the jump. And stolen level 4 Sunray for Matthew, that is a nice little pickup here.
Yeah, what I love here is how fast they're moving, right? They kick the Naga Siren out of that bottom lane. They're like, this is our chance to get a fight on their side of the map now. Because
Especially
we have been playing on the Radiant side for so long. We need to be able to play on their side, use our team fight advantage, and start threatening a winning condition of going high ground.
And taking these objectives. Your window to take these objectives is kind of limited to the Aegis on the Lifestealer unless you win a fight or get a big pick-off. So you need to make it count. These periods where you get quests back onto their side of the map are invaluable for your lineup right now. Getting lanes in, because look at the 2 side lanes right now, right? Like, you group up for mid instantly, Naga Illusion's down 1, Tiny on the other side of the map. Then you have to go back and deal with this. These Naga Illusions, like you said, are not the easiest for your lineup to deal with directly. You just feel like you're getting dragged around. You don't feel like you're making progress here, even if the game is technically staying even. Can sometimes be a mentality thing.
Yeah.
I don't think, like I said, I don't think EG are concerned with fighting the Naga late game directly. It's more about what it does in terms of numbers advantage or picking you apart. If you make a mistake, your map collapses. You just got to maintain the focus here. Another pickoff definitely helps. I don't know if Rubik's the #1 Infest target I would think about, but it has worked out here.
Yeah, it kind of has. I mean, when you know that Quest isn't going to fight back, Matthew is able to kind of brazenly run around looking for kills.
And where is that point for Quest, right? I feel like it's been some time since we've seen them make an aggressive move outside of that Crimson hard timing way earlier. They do have 3 BKBs now.
They could have gone for because
that arrow actually landed? What? Okay.
Yeah, landed like inside of him as he came down.
Yeah, they need a basher here on
Yeah, C-Smile is going to need that, or Lifestealer, or both.
A nice little move by Quest. They get a pick off mid on that Rubik that's been annoying, and the waves are getting cut by Naga here.
And they've got a Silver Edge on Noobs. That's going to help out even more. There is still, though, like you said, the advantage of EG. It really is, I think, such a mentality thing at this point. You just got to keep reminding yourself, guys, it's fine if we go late. Right? It's like, we don't have to feel too pressured, the fact that they're doing all this split pushing and stuff. We always have the advantage.
I mean, they can win the late game 5-on-5s. I just don't know if they're going to get them in a fair scenario.
Yeah.
The way Quest are gearing up here, it's going to pick and pull you apart. Like, that's kind of what this Silver Edge on the Tiny is designed to do as well, right? Sure, the break is nice. I think it's more about just abusing vision. Like, you have a Silver Edge Tiny running in, you have some Beastmaster vision, you have Naga Illusion vision, you have Morana ulti. Oh my god. It's actually one of the most toxic vision lineups I've seen in a while. Like, how do you see anybody on EG to jump them or take the fight fairly?
They got the 20% evasion from the Moonlight Shadow.
Also a factor.
Malik is going to go Force Staff. Like, that goes to show. It is like evade, evade, evade.
Yeah. Just kite the fights out. Let Noob pick and pry them apart. That's the name of the game here for Quest. We'll see if they can accomplish it. I mean, yeah, they have double Force Staff already, and Malik's going another one. So EG will find them. Maybe get the C-Smile looking for.
Boldly jumping in there, might pay the price for it. He's gonna get a little bit low. The gun landed, the arrow went through. No C-Smile for this fight. The Supernova is gonna last as well, so EG have to reset. They're gonna lose Matthew on top of this one, and the Song is gonna look to catch more.
They want Pakaz with another sleep arrow. It doesn't land.
Oh, it slips right past him, and now Pakaz is able to fight back, so we can't actually grab anybody here. Even if he's surged, he's having a rough time. Now he's going to be ensnared. Fortunately, there's a Lotus Orb to remove that. Pakaz getting a bit more distance away. Omar is trying to get him with the Yule Scepter into another combo, but a vacuum onto 3. That's pretty nice. Noob is already killing heroes on the side as well, so he's going to come back into this fight. Pakaz has a limited amount of time of vulnerability to work with. Now the rage is gone, so now he's going to be hit by all these stuns. He needs a way out of this one. Infest up in 1 second. He can jump into the dark suit, but he's too far away. Whisper will now be chased down as well. Omar... Okay, does manage to blink away. Somebody's able to get out on the side of EG, but what a nasty engagement. And it all starts with C-Smile jumping straight into 5 of Quest.
That is not what he wanted to do right there, especially if he's not infested and has that extra EHP. He's been tanky this game, but not that tanky. He just took an arrow out of Avalanche and Snare, and that was it, man. He was stunned for so damn long, Omar. definitely puts that fight on his back as he just stalls it out so much. This Yules has been annoying. The Solar Crest has been annoying. Every arrow is landing here. And again, once you get one kill on Quest and you can reset the fight, that just becomes a nightmare for Pakaz to find anybody. Yeah, too many kiting mechanisms.
It's funny that you said, you know, you can win the 5-on-5, but you're not going to get it in a fair engagement. I think that fight was a fair engagement.
About as fair as you're going to get, yeah.
Yes, C-Smile just kind of gave him something. You know, he's like, all right, you could have me.
I think it's some of the frustration in this game, too. I mean, that jump is hard because it's into a high ground ward for Quest. You want to force the fight. You're smoking into them, right? You don't know if they're all there clumped. And it's the frustration of this game. If you're getting worn around the map, when the fight finally comes, you're like, okay, if we can't win the fight, then what the hell are we doing in this game? I understand it. It's just not the initiation we're looking for, and all that Pango net worth goes out the window. I mean, this is like Pakaz's third rage, and he gets one hero out of it.
This avalanche separating the two. Pakaz had just a small little window there to infest, but Whisper was too far away to get inside.
It's also a fight where Panda, he did have this Ags on the ET, but he did not feel confident enough to engage during that Spirit timing because the Egg was buying time for Quest.
Yeah.
So they have some mechanisms in this Moonlight, the Egg, the Mirana, or the Naga Sleep. It's a lot of just stall, right? You can stall out a rage, you can isolate a target, you can stop a surge. Like, where do you go in and how do you burst someone on EG? All right, they're going to infest the Darkseer now.
Yeah, see if we can get a better engagement than last time. If Whisper can hit a vacuum wall and then C-Smile gets in there with his AoE damage, that should be a much different engagement.
Yeah, look at the Hawk vision, though. Again, the vision mechanisms for Quest,
they're too good.
It's just so damn hard to bypass. I think you might have to throw the Spirit in first. I mean, Panda is. You're trying to scout something and then jump it blind. Roche is just dying, though. While you're trying to figure out what Quest are seeing, all they're seeing is Aegis Cheese right now. Refresher Shard as well. You give this away to the Phoenix or something, you're in trouble here.
Might be one of those times just to try and jump in there. They go into the pit. Nobody's there.
What do you do now if you're EG?
Yeah, Moonlight Shadow has gone out. C-Smile not getting any information. He's gonna get caught. Oh no, C-Smile might have just given away. Oh, big crit off the double damage.
There's nothing tiny about this Tiny right now, and that is another failed initiation for EG as they just can't see anything. They are playing this game blind. Refresher Shard now on TA2000. We'll see who he ends up giving it to. I assume you're gonna give it to Kaori, and they will. So that's a double Hex, double Egg Phoenix.
We said Quest. They found a pressure point, a weak point to be able to dig at EG with this split push, and now it feels like the other dig point is C-Smile. Tipping him, knowing that his failed initiations is costing EG this game right now.
I don't think it could be him going in. Sure, if you catch him in the pit with that rolling, maybe you look like a hero. Instead, it turns out a zero.
I think you're right. I think it has to be Darkseer jumping in.
It has to be Darkseer with the infest. You get a vac, and then you're just instantly on a big core target. However, while we're discussing this, you're just getting megas right now.
Yeah, they're not even fighting back, basically. Supernova, they do manage to get the Lotus Orb, bounce back. The Earth Splitter's pretty good, but without their carry, how good is it really?
Okay,
C-Smile,
Panda, you're the carry.
He's the carry now with his Aghanim Scepter, trying to put some damage out. It doesn't last for long. It is only as good as the magic immunity wears on.
And another arrow to seal C-Smile's fate as that egg survives on one hit. This Pango just didn't find anything in the last 20 minutes here. The vision control, the kiting in the fights, the initiation power from this Quest lineup, something I think was a little overlooked by all of us and just ended up winning in this game. Like, they played around it so damn well. That's the power of these Naga Mirana lineups. Sure, you have all these cute things with ensnares and arrows and, you know, all these little combinations. Omar and Noob, the combination between the Tiny and the Mirana definitely carried the early game. It's the vision.